Hello, everybody. Groovyouverse coming to you here live and allowing everybody to participate in this journey that I am taking in not just my spirituality, but also for myself. You may have heard from my last stream that I am going to be participating in the 30-day self love challenge. And I wanted to share this experience with everybody out there, especially for those who probably might be in the same situation as I am. I've been through a really rough time within the last, probably say, 10 years. And it's been rough. It's been challenging. Connections were broken in the end. Um, and it just made things a little bit difficult because it's almost like a huge culture shock. And I kind of briefly explained this in my last stream, explaining why I'm doing this. And I just wanted to kind of add a little bit more context. Coming from a dark area within the past 10 years, or make it 15 actually, there's a lot of things that made me disconnect from friends, families, and then when I finally, actually have the chance to maybe just go out and explore the world, the one thing that I felt that needed a little bit more exploring was myself. I do love myself. I do love what I want, which is my spirituality with the universe, with the energies, my spirit animals and guides. But what I want to do is find a new definition of self-love, to take it to another plane of existence, not just for the fact of, oh, I need to be self-confident, but it's just more about, how far or how much more can I put this self-love into effect? And what kind of new doors can I open up? I mean, obviously, we work on spirituality. Everybody knows about my tarot readings, and definitely I'm on that path still. But there's more to me that I think that I just want to feel good about. And obviously, one of them is my health. I'm going to be embarking this first 30 days a regimen of tasks to where I want to be able to wake up in the morning, do some walking exercises or jogging, get used to jogging. I want to be able to eat the proper foods. I want to be able to really get some new habits to where I can actually make new friends, as well as keeping my current friends too, who are supporting me. But making, some of these new friends who where I happen to travel to, I want to be able to have that energy and confidence in order to talk to people. And I feel that I'm very, confident enough, but I think I could take it to the next level. So I come up with a few things, at least today on my second day of my self-love challenge, and I want to share them all with you. So bring my notes over here real quick. Hi Taro, how you doing? So embarking these first 30 days of love is going to be a big challenge, and one thing that I feel is needed is to change the place that I live. I you know I do live in a basic house. It's nothing's huge and spectacular, but one thing that I do love about living in this house is that it's my house. um the fact that I own this house makes it even better because I don't have to deal with the landlord and everything, and that makes me appreciate the space more. Even though I'm I may not be in the right, well, I would say not city life. There's certain neighbors out there that are, have different opinions and views than I do, but uh, one thing that I don't let it get to me is their views, and I actually managed to make friends with them, and that's again that extra step that I take in order to for self love is to show respect to others as I would love to have respect to me, despite our differences. Um, you know, Love conquers all, and I appreciate the area that I live in because, especially what's going on right now, it's really tough. I'm happy to have a roof over my head on rainy days, windy days, stuff like that, and I need to take care of that. I need to take care of that just as much as I use meditation to do some house cleaning up here. I need to be able to change the way I live because this is where I lay my bed. This is where I lay down. If I'm going to bring in a love in my life, perhaps this person moves in with me, perhaps I move in with this other person. Whatever the case is, generating new habits of how I live is going to be probably not. I wouldn't say it's like a hard habit to break, but it's definitely a challenging one because sometimes it's just like riding a bike. You're so used to how you ride a bike, but you might fall down, but you have to get back up. And maybe that's a bad metaphor, but what I'm trying to get at is that um, sometimes changing our personalities and the way how we live, it sticks with us like glue. So I need to change how I live. Like for obviously keeping the house clean and whatnot, which I do, but it can go further than that. I can minimize the amount of stuff using minimalism to reduce the amount of things that I have that can open my world to bigger and better things to understand. I won't have that burden of knowing that I have all these things that, of stuff that I collected. And the only things I want to keep with me are what's important. Obviously, my computer, clothes, my tarots and books and things like that. But I'm going to have to go through all these things and figure out what is really most important for me and try to reduce the amount of clutter I have in my life. I must respect the house as much as I want to respect the energy around me, which segues into the next part, making a sacred space. Now, I do have a small little gym, which I will show in the next few days. And that's where I'm doing my meditation, plus I'm also doing my workout. I have a nice yoga ball, I have a teeter in there, and I actually made a small sacred space for myself there where I'm able to, feel the sunshine coming in the morning. And one thing that I kind of haven't done was get closer to nature. And because I've always been a homebody, I've always stayed home. And for some of you who know why I stayed home, you probably already understand that. And maybe one of these days I'll share a little bit deeper in terms of why I've stayed home more often than going out. But I'm introducing some life elements, small things like this, because I have a rose bush out in my backyard, and I'm using the energy of plants around me. I even have like a succulent in my sacred area to represent me being grounded with the earth and life. And to me, introducing these new elements of life around my surroundings more, I feel will allow me to draw energy from that and concentrate more in terms of my goal after the 30 days of self-love. I use the sacred space already for meditation. I have a little pillow there with some incense and a tarot deck, actually, a Thoth tarot deck that I keep there. So what I'll do is I'll randomly pick a card from the deck and use it as a way of, partially just to kind of focus on what I need to do for the day, meditate it, and then of course leaving some time for my intuition and spirit guides to communicate with me through the meditation, by clearing my head, obviously, and, bringing in some new ideas, honing in on my creativity and so forth. And I'm not an expert at meditation. It's definitely hard. I get monkey brain, which is what I call it, because when my mind starts to really kind of think about things like, oh, I need to go do my breaks and all this other stuff. What am I going to eat today? And every time I get into those kind of views, I need to reposition myself. And what I do actually is I pretend that I'm in a movie theater, and with my eyes closed, I'm in a dark movie theater, and I'm just waiting for the movie to start. And what that movie is, I don't know, because I just paid for a random ticket and sat in the audience seat. Obviously, we don't do that in real life, but so yeah, introducing life, and of course, my sacred space to where I feel safe. I'm able to meditate and build energy around that area. Another thing that I need to do is change my habits. And one thing I actually want to share with everybody is a site that I would love to keep track with you, as well as myself, obviously. But I'm going to pull up the site right now. Just lost it. There you are. So this right here is Habitica, and it's spelled Habitica. Now, Habitica is all about getting things done, but using gamification to help you be motivated to to continue the tasks. Okay, so what you do here is that you would start with your own avatar. I have my little avatar here in Groovified, and you start off very small. And what you'll do is you have like these 4 columns here, actually 3. The first column is your habits, and these are like habits that you can do on the fly, like drinking water or things like that. And the ones I have here, and which are, some of them are easy, some of them are maybe a little bit more difficult or challenging. But every time I do one of these habits, I can keep hitting pluses on these, which will add experience to my character here at the top. So it's pretty cool. It's just like a RPG video game. It's allowed me to actually to keep my character alive and to fight strong. And I had this set up back in March, and unfortunately I had that's the time I broke up with my ex, and I dropped Habitica. Actually a little bit longer than that, actually, as a matter of fact. It was a lot sooner than that. It was probably around January. And I dropped Habitica, and I got back onto it recently, and I started making some modifications. And I want to share this all with you. For example, I have here the first one, going to bed at 1 a.m., the latest, and I can actually go into these options here, and I can make it either be only negative or only positive type of habit, and I can also provide the difficulty and some other really cool stuff to go along with it. And so obviously I didn't go to bed at 1 a.m. I'm still talking to everybody at 1 a.m. in the morning, live streaming, so that's a negative there, and I just lost some health, as you see. Now, I have some work stuff, like adding some elements to Team Space, which is something I do for work. Then I have some other things here. Waking up at 7:30 a.m., which is what I really want to do, actually. I want to wake up 7:30 or even earlier than that, because I want to be able to start with more time to prep my day before I go to work. Like get exercises or do some stretching and make my breakfast. So I'll have here waking up at 9:30, which is, obviously not good. But if I wake up at 7:30, that's a good thing. I'll hit plus. I have some other things here, like, for example, drinking a little protein shake that I'll make in the morning. Then I have some other really cool, fun things too. It doesn't have be about exercise. It doesn't have to be about routine things that it's going to be like a pain in the butt or a chore. So I put in here, do tarot reading for myself, perhaps, because I need to work on my ability of doing tarot readings on myself. And my friends, especially Yvonne, who's the Indigo Mermaid, she knows that I don't like reading for myself because sometimes I feel I get too biased. And I feel that the cards may not read right, but practice makes perfect. So I need to do a tarot reading to myself, maybe to kind of help me with my day, what's my week going to be like, and so forth. Then with my crystals, even though I've touched all of them, touch a crystal, maybe read up on it, because I do have the crystal Bible guide here, and I want to build that arsenal of books too. And I want to learn more about my crystals. I want to become a little more knowledgeable about them, so I know how to properly use them with efficiency and respect. Then I have, my Spanish lesson, which I'll share another day. A really cool story about this, but I wanted to learn a new language, and of course, there's reading a book, drinking water as much often as I can, and pulling a tarot card and just logging it for myself of the day, so I can add on more habits here, and that every time I do these habits throughout the day, I just keep on adding, hitting the pluses here to increase my experience. Then I have my daily tasks, which it expects me to do every single day. I've added in here some stuff, weight training, where I'm doing some horizontal squats, push-ups, arm rows, and as well as doing some stuff that I really need to keep track on, which is like my type 2 diabetes, which unfortunately is what I have. So I have to check my glucose and my insulin and so forth. And I even have a teeter, which flips me upside down, and I can actually do reverse sit-ups with this, as well as stretching out my core, my back. Makes me feel that I'm releasing some tension and some negative energy from my chakras, so I'll be able to actually get a lot more with that. And of course, using Rosetta Stone. Again, I have a really cool story about that, but I'll save that for another time. Hello, Miss Indigo Mermaid. And that's in the chat. That is my friend, my colleague. We both do the Indigo Mermaid, or excuse me, the Groovy Mermaid's website, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But we also have here my treadmill. No longer will it be just holding clothes and stuff. It's definitely going to be used. Then, of course, my morning meditation and walk. And that I have some stuff I want to do. There's some small things I need to buy for myself, as well as, some things that I want to plan for myself and do as I go into my 30-day of love, self-love. So that's what I have going on with that site. And I'm going to be adding on to it. I will actually be logging it, taking some screenshots, and I'll be posting these in my blog at thegroovymermaids.com, and you'll be able to help track, not help, but you'll be able to keep track of my progress if you're interested to find out how I'm doing. And I would love to hear back some feedback from everybody. Last but not least, would be actually about, I don't know, just kind of closing up this day a little bit. So what I've learned so far is that, there's going to be some different ways how I'm going to have to eat my food. Before I was doing like a fast, but no longer I'm doing that. I'm actually going to be eating regular, but obviously some easy portioning, as well as healthier foods. Like every night I'm just doing a salad with some soup. During the day, like maybe for lunch they actually had a very basic sandwich. It was actually a turkey avocado sandwich with cheese in it, and I had a side of roasted broccoli, which tasted phenomenal. Some olive oil, a little bit of dash salt, pepper and garlic, and I put it in my air fryer, and it came out nice and crispy and delicious. And I'm going to be doing that more often, especially with Brussels sprouts. I want to really want to get more into a vegetable diet, and maybe even get into more of a vegetarian or even maybe vegan diet. That way, I'm not solely on meat products, but I don't know. I like bacon, so and hamburgers, so that'll be a kind of a hard thing to get by. But I'm pretty sure Yvonne will actually probably coach me in terms of what I can eat, is to kind of replicate those experiences. Then, as far as my exercises go, I am going to be buying some dumbbells. I want to be able to do some workouts and stuff like that. I want to get into a body that I feel really good about, that gives me the energy that I need, definition, and things like that. Currently, I'm actually waiting for this smart scale that I actually got. Um, about time. Um, I want to get. I actually have the smart scale coming in that I'll actually sync my progress on my phone, as well as calculating like BMIs and all those other cool, fun things. And I'm definitely going to be keeping track with that. Last I checked, my weight is around 265. Um, the my waistline, I'm not entirely sure just yet. I'm actually going to be doing measurements tonight, and I'll actually be coming up with more information in terms of my weight loss goal, um, as well as my stats going forward. I'll be able to take some before and after shots. So that's going to be a really interesting and fun experience, I think. And it'll be probably a little bit embarrassing, for at least for myself, because I usually don't expose myself like this to where, I need to show my body, whatnot. But I think it's a really good motivator to allow me to, say, what, if I really want to change myself and the way I look, I need to keep this up. I need to keep going and stuff like that. So, um, yes. And so I don't want to go too long on this log here. I just want to be able to keep everybody updated and share things that I've learned. And with that said, I want to conclude with everybody that we still have the Groovy Mermaid collaboration with both Yvonne, who is, excuse me, not both, but I meant myself, and Yvonne, who's the Indigo Mermaid TV. You'll be able to find her channel in the description below. I don't think it's there right now, but I will definitely add it. There's also our website, the groovymermaids.com, which is available, and right now it's still in its infancy, but we actually managed to kind of get some things started with it. You'll definitely see us have a scheduler on there, some links to our blogs, as well as our video streams, and a lot of other things too that we want to be able to provide that's not provided in these live streams as well. But I really do, let's see here, doing the keto thing myself, 35 pounds since January. Oh man, congratulations on that. That's excellent. Um, you know, you'll be able to find me on Facebook with the same name, Groovified, or on Instagram, Groovified. I would love to actually be able to talk with you more if you're interested in sharing your experiences with me. I'd love to hear from like-minded people going through some type of weight loss, and it definitely would be encouraging for me. So yeah, congratulations on that since January. That's amazing. So and also, one of the reasons too I want to do this, this is actually kind of a thing for me. I've been a little bit self-conscious about it. I want to get rid of my little double chin. I definitely need to say it right now to get it off, white knuckled through the lockdown. Yeah. And ever since this lockdown started, I've actually been starting eating a lot healthier, really being conscious about that, and not and kind of curbing some things too. Like I'll eat a hard-boiled egg to kind of help curb my hunger, or I'll maybe have like a couple sliced turkey to help me snack in between meals, because I can't eat too many fruits, because that will increase sugar and could cause some bad things. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook under the same name, Groovified, and I would love to actually be able to chat with you, talk with you. I love hearing that. Sugar-free Jello. So, actually, I'm so glad you brought this up, because I'm going to get on Miss Indigo Mermaid TV, Yvonne, on this. And the one thing that you want to actually do instead of sugar-free Jello is get a agar. It's called agar agar. which is actually a type of seaweed. Because as we know, Jello uses like some type of it uses bones, like meat products and bones, in order to actually create Jello. And if you didn't know this, look it up. It's really fascinating. Fascinating in a weird way, where how they make Jello. Now with agar, there's a lot of recipes out there, and how it works, you actually get the just about the same kind of texture. Probably not as as wobbly and gelatin as Jello, but you definitely get that gelatin-like state. So, what I made before was a coconut mango gelatin Jello dessert, and in a way, I don't know what else to call it except for Jello. But how you do it is that you get the agar, it's like in flakes, and you have some boiling hot water. So you dissolve the powder in the water, and once it's fully dissolved, then you just add your juices in there. Like you can get some mango puree or juice, with maybe kind of thin it out with some orange juice, perhaps. You can even you use whatever fruit mixture, or I don't know what else to call it. I almost saying cocktail here, but you can make your own fruit juice if you want to, like a punch, and then put it into the agar, and then pour it out into a bowl, let it freeze over, and then you can get your coconut mix to make the white layer on it, and you have yourself some really great natural sugar and all vegan style Jello. And the thing is that I'm actually trying to stay away from, because there's those sweeteners within the sugar-free Jellos that I really don't want to introduce into my diet. And that I'm not trying to knock what you're doing. I mean, by all means, Jello does taste delicious, and but one thing I just want to be able to share my story with is agar is an excellent substitute, and it doesn't taste like it's a seaweed, because I did say it's a seaweed, but it doesn't taste like anything. As a matter of fact, if you just eat the agar without anything, like no juices, you're not gonna. There's no taste. And that's the cool thing about it. So, and be able to make up your own recipes and stuff like that is just going to be major bombage. So, um, yeah, aspartame, exactly. Yeah. And you're hungry now. And, that's one thing I'm actually going to be introducing into my 30 days of self-love is some of my cooking that I do, and Yvonne actually does some cooking as well, and we'll be able to share some really great recipes and everything. But dude, seriously, keep up the good work on that. That it really actually motivates me to to do this path of getting healthier. And the 30 days of self-love is not just about getting healthier and stuff like that. It's just one of the paths. There's actually all these other steps that I need to discover and figure out, that would make me obviously happier, as well as more available to the world. So with that said, I'm going to be concluding for the night. But if there's any questions out there before I do log off, I'll be more than happy to ask or answer any questions that you may have. Just give it a few seconds here. But as I'm waiting for these questions, again, thegroovymermaids.com. I'm going to be taking some before after shots there, some progress of my 30 days of self-love, and if anybody knows how I can get rid of these baggy eyes, let me know. But I've been reading on it, it's like cold compress and all this other cool stuff. But anyway, namaste, everybody. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and stay tuned for day 3, which will be tomorrow. My live streams. So I'm actually, that's one of the things I'm going to be doing and get into a habit of, is doing a lot more live streams. Yvonne actually tells me to do more live streams, to do my month of May, then month of June, and I didn't do my month of May zodiacs, which is what I really wanted to get into, and I need to make a schedule for myself to really follow through with that. But I definitely will be doing some live streams probably even actually starting this week. Not just with the Groovy Mermaids, but for my own channel as well. Um, and I definitely miss everybody as well too. I miss doing the practice. I miss in doing a lot of things on my channel, and that's again one of the things I'm going to have to work on is to better my time management as well as getting the resources I need in order to do these projects and so forth. Because there's a lot of things that I love to do with my channel and share that with everybody out there in the world. So let's see here. So I don't see anything else, but I do appreciate you subscribing. And so again, hit that notification symbol. If you have any comments or if you have any suggestions in terms of exercise, fitness, or anything else that you feel would be a good attribute for this 30 days self-love, I would love to hear about it. Leave your comments down below. I definitely want to hear from you. You can also find my contact information in the description below as well. It's tarot@groovedefy.com, which is my own personal email. Then there's the Groovy Mermaid's email, which is tarot@thegroovymermaids.com if you want to have something in regards to tarot. But thank you very much, everybody. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Namaste.